orientation. This is the most important by far. This is the most important appointment. You could recruit a million people, but if you give a crappy orientation, nothing else matters because you're going to have a million IBAs and no people. Okay, so we need to solve the problem and we need to make sure that we are doing the right thing when we get them coming in. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to jump right into this. It's going to be a little bit all over the place. Shocker, I know, but I'm going to follow a system here, but I'm going to jump off and share screen in a couple different places. And I want this to be a little bit more interactive than a normal 101. So if you have a question at any point in time during this process, please hit the raise hand button. Let's have some audience participation. Everyone hit the raise hand button real fast, real quick. Let's make sure it's working. And get them things going. All right, perfect. Thank you. You all can hit it again and unshare or unraise your hand now. I just want to make sure it was working for you guys. So if you have a question, guys, hit the raise hand button at any time. So a successful orientation is going to make or break your business. Okay, because if you have 1,000 people that come in and then no one sticks around, you didn't really recruit anyone. You just signed an IBA. Are you with me? Does that make sense, guys? If all you're doing is collecting IBAs, you're never recruiting somebody. When you recruit somebody, they plug in, they get licensed, they do this, they join the system, they get off to a fast start. Guys, a successful orientation makes or breaks your business. I've said this to you guys before. In the last 45, maybe 50 days, as a hierarchy in total, we've recruited a little over 220 people. Where are they? Does that make sense? Like, where are they? Why is it that the people that, and I'm not like, this is not to like come at you guys, but why is it that my direct licensing ratio, Bonita, is over 50%, right? Why is it that my directs gauge when I recruit somebody, they come to meetings, right? I had like Hugo and Robin, unmute yourselves if you want to and attest to this. I had a lady, the lady that did the announcements this morning, 2 weeks ago, Gage was like, I don't think this is for me. I don't really want to do the business. Like, I don't really want to recruit anybody. Bro, she's licensed, senior rep, 2 recruits. She's got 7 appointments this week. Like, guys, it's because of the way that you give the orientation and the conviction behind what you do, how you do it, and all that other stuff. And I just want to encourage you guys and tell you, like, look, if you're bad at orientations now, how do you get better? You practice. How do you practice? You recruit people. How do you recruit people? You run the play. You follow the system. You become a leader. You get better as a person, right? There are so many things in this business that revolve around you becoming who you're not right now. Does it make sense? And I'm not trying to say that in like a coming at you type of way. I'm just saying, like, if you're not having the results that you want, we got to look in the mirror in a couple of places. We also got to look at our system. Are we doing the system the way that Dan is teaching you to do the system? Okay, now I'm not going to sit here, Angie, and tell you that I'm the best person at Primerica because I'm definitely not. But I can't train you on a system that's not the one that I've built, that Ian's helping me put together, that Mario's helping me like formulate and build for you guys. I know how to work on our system, right? Like, you are not going to take a Lamborghini to a Toyota dealership, right? You're going to take it to the Lamborghini dealer. Why? Because they know how to work on that car. Guys, if you're out and about and calling other people and doing all this other stuff and you're checking in with different people and you're like, oh my gosh, I need help with this and that, and you're looking at YouTube videos of people not in our hierarchy and you're looking at all this other stuff, you're going to get very distracted by shiny objects and you're not going to learn the system. And you're going to get frustrated and your people are going to get even more pissed off and frustrated because they don't have a system to follow. Guys, the orientation is the backbone of you getting people off to a fast start. It is how you do it. You're getting tie downs throughout the whole thing, right? Lots of yes questions, and you're getting them excited about what's coming. You're framing them as what it's going to be like once they become a district leader throughout the entire orientation. Does that make sense? Now, we have a video that you're going to be sending them. It's almost done. I just talked to Tim earlier today. We have a video that's almost done. As soon as that video is done, you guys will be able to utilize that instead of the Ian Pruckner video for your orientations. And it's going to cut your orientation time down a little bit and make it much more duplicatable. But guys, you have to understand this. You should be able to give an orientation without a video. You should be able to pull up the PDF and just roll through it. Okay. You set the tone for the success or the failure of your people on this meeting. All right. So guys, your orientation 24 to 48 hours after you bring somebody on. Okay. Right there's the problem for about half of you guys. Right. I recruit somebody, my orientation, we're meeting, Gage, I recruited them today, right? We're meeting next October for their orientation. God bless. No, you're not. You're never seeing that person again. We're meeting on Friday. No, you're not. It's Sunday. They're gone. Come Friday, they forgot about Primerica. They don't know who you are. Now, that's not everybody, but as a general rule of thumb, if you think that you can just recruit people and then 6 weeks later come back and be like, oh my gosh, Gage, I'm so sorry. I forgot about you, and resurrect all of those people, you're crazy. Now, I do want to give like a quick shout out to Robin, because Robin actually went through all of her recruits last week that she found out how to find them all and called them and actually brought a lot of people back into like the fold of like getting moving again. But guys, that's a product of massively recruiting and taking ownership in your business. And every single one of you guys has to start with massive ownership and then massive recruiting. Right, but you need to give them an orientation 24 to 48 hours. I forgot to change that again. It says email the packet and give the CDs. Don't do that. There's no packet to email and there's no CDs. What that is get the Facebook post. Okay, write this down. Send them a Facebook. This is on the orientation, not before. Not before. On the orientation. The first thing, you need to make sure they have already posted on Facebook. Okay. The second thing is you need to book their client experience appointment. And then the third thing is you need to send them the appointment setting boot camp, the YouTube video. Okay. I'll go into a little bit more detail on this process tomorrow morning of what to do after the orientation. But on the orientation, I'm sending them those three things, right? Or I'm doing those three things: post, client experience appointment, and then appointment setting boot camp YouTube video, which you all should have. If you don't have it already, if someone can put it in the Zoom chat, not in the Telegram, because I don't want everybody getting confused, just drop it in the Zoom chat. So I'm going to start off every meeting that I have with new people, an orientation, after they watch the video, right? So Brian, I recruit them, they watch the video, they join Telegram, right? Hopefully they post on Facebook, they're into You Can Pass. That is the qualifier for them getting on an orientation with me. If you can't watch a 30-minute video and get yourself logged into the computer, there are exceptions. But if you can't watch a video prior to us getting on for an orientation, I do not have time to go through the entire orientation with you unless you have a massive track record of being successful. But as a duplicatable system, they have already watched the video, right? So Gage, you already watched the video. Now we're on your orientation. So Gage, there's a right way and a wrong way to learn this business. Which would you like me to teach you? They're almost always going to say the right way. Okay. Now, if you get somebody that's sharp, they're going to say both, right? Why? Because they want to know what doesn't work. But most of the time, they're going to say the right way. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to teach you both. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through both of how both of these work. And then, so I'm going to tell them your business is built on a three-legged stool. How many of you have heard me say this a million freaking times? Right? Y'all, every one of you, if you've ever spent any amount of time around me, it's guys, your business is built on a three-legged stool, and you walk them through these three things. What happens if your stool with 3 legs loses a leg? What happens to you? The thing on top of the stool, where does it go? It falls, right? It goes away, it disappears, whatever the various answers are. Okay, great. So we need to make sure we're doing all 3 of these things at the same time. So the first thing is licensing, right? So licensing, the key terms to know this, chapter recap. We're going to get you testing within 2 to 3 weeks. I didn't say we're going to pass within 2 to 3 weeks. That's the goal, but we're going to be taking our test within 2 to 3 weeks. Guys, listen, if you're through 101 and into 201 right now, and you have not scheduled your exam and been taking that thing like it's going out of style until you pass, you need to. I'm telling you, like, stop messing around with this thing. You have to get licensed. You must get licensed. If you have people right now that have been here for more than 3 weeks and they're not scheduled yet, you need to get with them on the urgency of getting scheduled for their life insurance exam. Okay, you must schedule this. Okay, there's a few of you on here, I'm not going to call you out, that need to schedule your exam. You need to do that tomorrow. I don't care if you got to go return pop cans to get money to pay for the test. I literally don't care how you do it. Make it happen. Schedule that exam tomorrow. Hey, maybe we're a little bit afraid of failing. That's fine. But stop pushing it off, because it only gets harder to schedule it the further away it goes. Schedule the exam, get it done. Okay. Now, your expectation is 2 to 3 weeks or less, they're going to be taking the exam. And you're going to talk about how after passing, you're making $500 every time you go on a KT and you close business, your bonus is going to hit, all that type of stuff. Right. So now we're back to the three-legged stool again. All right. So, hey, we're back in the three-legged stool. And so from the three-legged stool, we're going to talk about trainings. We're going to talk about how to get into the system and what that all looks like. And we're going to go through that. So we're going to get them tied down on going to meetings, right? Now, the two stories that I tell on meetings, the first one is the good and the bad student, right? So you got a good student, so you're in college and you got your final exam coming up and you're brand new, right? And you just keep like you come in every day, you're in the front row. You walk up to your professor and you tell him like, hey, I need some help. Like, I got to pass this exam. It's the day of the exam. I got to pass this thing to pass the class. Can you help me? What's the teacher going to say? What's your professor going to say? Yeah, I'll help you. What's up? You've been here every day. But then in the other side of the room, right, you got me coming in here with my hoodie on and I'm like, I'm not paying attention. I'm sleeping in the back. I got my headphones in. I'm late half the time. When I do come, it's to take a nap in the back, right? I never ask questions. I never do my homework, but somehow, Gage, I'm in the same spot that my teacher is, or that the other guy is, that you are, right? And so now I go up to the teacher and I say, hey, I need to pass this thing. Can you help me? The teacher picks between you and me. Who are they picking? They're picking the one that's in the front row all day. Why? Because they've put the effort in. So when I'm giving an orientation, I'm telling that story and I'm telling the new person, look, you're not going to understand everything right away. It's not going to make sense right away. And that's okay. But it's not okay for you not to show up. It's not okay for you not to try. It's not okay for you not to do your best. So you need to make sure you're on the meeting so you can learn. Okay. Then I give them the meeting times. Right. So I'll talk about that one in a second. Then I give them the meeting times. I explain when they are. And then hello?
Yeah.
God bless. Brad, figure out the mute button. Stop doing that. So I'm on the meeting, right? I'm on the orientation. And John, I ask him, I give him all these times, Sunday, Tuesday, Saturday boot camp. And then I tell them you have an optional, that's Tuesday through Friday, wake up call with a Bible study right before that. We'd love to have you, but you don't have to get onto that one. What I do need you to commit to Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, and Saturday mornings. Is there anything stopping you from getting on those meetings for the next 90 days? Anything that would prevent you from getting on that, Gage? Well, I work on Saturday mornings. I work at a breakfast bar. Okay, great. Only then do you tell them the meetings are recorded. They're like, no, I can get on all those. Okay, great. Hop on. We'll get it going for you. Well, it's going to be amazing. Gage can't make it on Saturday because that's like her busiest day because she works at Cracker Barrel or whatever. Awesome. Cool, Gage. That's great. I don't want you to miss out on your income. Maybe start scheduling around that if you can on some Saturdays. But once we start making money, maybe it'll make sense to maybe get rid of that shift. But for now, keep it. I'll do everything I can to get you a recording for Saturdays, okay? But you got to promise me, Gage, that you're going to watch it. Can I get a commitment from you that you're going to watch the recording? Awesome. Cool. But Sundays and Tuesdays, Gage, you got to be on. You got to have your camera on. You got to show up. You got to like be a part of the environment, put your stuff in the Zoom chat, take notes, stuff like that. Is that fair? Can you do that for me? Yes, I can. Awesome. Why? Because, guys, you're doing them a favor by getting them the recording. They should not be missing meetings and just getting the recording just because. If you can't get on a call, dude, like, what is everybody else doing right now? They're watching Monday night or Sunday night football. They're hanging out with their friends, right? They're chilling with their family, which is all, that's great. It's all fine and dandy. I'm not saying don't hang out with your family, but for 45 minutes, you can jump on, you can at least throw a freaking headphone in and listen, right? So I'm just getting a commitment to the meeting times, and I'm explaining to them the money printing machine. So the college class story is, first, it doesn't really matter. You get into your routine of which one you like better, but the money printing machine story is pretty simple. Brian, if I were to buy you a money printing machine, all the paper, all the ink and everything, and I mailed it to you, Brian, and you had to assemble it in a room, a dark room down in the basement, okay? And you had to assemble it, put it back together. But Brian, you found out that there was a lamp in the corner and all you had to do was plug the lamp in. You could read the instructions and build it way faster. Brian, would you plug the lamp in or would you try to build the machine in the dark? Well, I'm definitely going to plug the lamp in, obviously, right? Okay, great. Brian, the meetings are you plugging the lamp in, right? You're plugging into the environment. You're being a part of the environment, Brian. And that's where you're going to learn how this thing works. Okay. So Brian, I want to help you build a money printing machine, AKA getting a life insurance license so you can make money when you need to and when you want to, when you decide to get to work. Okay. So any issues with these meetings at all, Brian? Can I count on you being here for the next 90 days, camera on, excited? Yeah. Awesome. Guys, do you see how I'm getting my people to show up to meetings right now and why you're missing the meetings? Is this helping you guys? Put a little yes in the Zoom chat if this is helpful. If not, I'll go away. You guys can sit here and look at each other for 15 more minutes. It's okay. I hope this is helping you guys because I'm telling you, meeting attendance, getting a commitment, a firm 90-day commitment on the first 90 days is so important because it's where you get them to understand and start to learn the business. And Sadie, when you're on the meeting, you hear something and you're like, oh, I have a question about that. And you text your trainer and you get a better explanation. And that's how you grow. Right, guys? Like we don't learn, like I haven't learned everything I've learned in business and in my life by just being a fly on the wall. Gage, I'll hear something and I'm like, that's interesting. I'm going to look into that more. I'm going to message somebody that maybe knows more about that than me and ask them a question. Or I'm going to go buy a book about that thing and learn about it, right? Guys, that's how you learn. You get on the meeting and it kind of like sparks your thought process a little bit. And then now you have your questions. You're like, dude, I got to set kitchen tables. But like this one guy on the meeting one time, he was talking about he's going to the gym and just prospecting everybody. And you're like, dude, I go to the gym every freaking day. I could prospect people. That's a great idea. You pick up things on meetings that you won't pick up just texting and calling and talking to your trainer. You all know that. You're here right now, but you have to convey that to your new people. Does that make sense? Joe, is that helping you? Are you good? All right. So guys, you're going to talk about leveraging the meetings as well, right? So this is one of my favorite things to talk to them about. I know I'm big. I talk about meetings a lot. And some of you guys are like, dude, shut up. I get it. I got to get my people to get on meetings. No, I am so over the top with meeting attendance with my new people because it's what keeps them alive, right? It is what plants them in the dirt of Primerica so they don't quit when things get hard. Why? Because they get on Zoom and they see their friends. And even better yet, when they're in person in the office, they get together with real human beings and make actual connections. And so it's better. So when I'm doing this, Gage, you got to get on the meetings. Why? Because we're going to help recruit you 10 to 15, 20 people that are all working on their licenses. They're out building their businesses. They're doing all the right things. And Gage, if they come and get on the meeting, but you aren't there, what kind of an example is that setting for them? Right, Gage, you have one shot to do this thing well in the beginning with your new people and get off to a fast start. And Brian, I really don't want you to blow it. I want to make sure we're getting you on the meeting so you can learn everything, but also you're setting a good example for the people that we bring in, because even though you're not that far ahead of them and you might not feel comfortable to lead them yet, they're looking to your example on how they should show up to meetings. Does it make sense? So, hey, 90 days. And dude, I'm getting a 90-day commitment for him 5 times about the same freaking thing. Why? Because I'm tying them down on coming to meetings. Okay, Dan, I get it. We got to go to meetings. Okay, great. Awesome. Cool. Hopefully your meeting attendance will start to grow. Right? So, all right, field training, fast start bonuses, promotions, bonuses, all that kind of stuff. Your people are going to do what you expect and inspect. Okay, you should write that down. Expect and inspect. So if you're doing a fast start presentation and you're like, well, you know, it would be cool if maybe you got to like senior rep and like maybe we did one policy and maybe we recruited one person, like that'd be nice, I guess. Right? You're like, that's exhausting to even like make that voice that some of you all do on your orientations. And B, that's why you ain't got nobody moving. Because you're like, well, where do you think you'll end up? No, wrong. Gage, we're getting you to division leader in the next 30 days, period. Are you in? You want to make a grand and get a license and have a team? Yes. Awesome. Amazing. This is how we're going to do it. This is what it usually looks like. It's not it. Hang on. This is wrong. I definitely saved the other one. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. I didn't realize that was in there twice when I was editing this. All right, let's see this slideshow again. So I'm pulling up my Canva thing, right? And I'm going through this with them and I'm just showing them. I'm like, Gage, look, for you to get your first promotion, it's 3 recruits and 3,000 in premium. And you got to be in your licensing. Okay. I'm not going to promote you if you're not studying. All right. District leader, 6x6, and you got to have a license. You cannot be a district leader and not have a license. How are you going to district lead anything if you don't got a license, right? So we got to make sure we get licensed. After that's division leader. That's 10 recruits and 10,000 in premium. But Gage, that's through your whole team. So check this out. Gage, you're a district leader and you want to get to division leader. That means you did 6 recruits and 6,000 in premium. How do you get to division leader? You help one of your senior reps get to district leader, right? How? You get them 3x3 more than what they've already done. And now they're at 9x9. And then Gage, you just got to do your 1x1 that you should be doing every week anyway. And you're at 10x10. And now you're a division leader. And you start your next month at a 60% contract. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, yeah, that's great. Cool. So, and then you just explain to them, look, every month, Gage, we're going to try to get you up one level. Why? Because we're going to help the people below you get their level, their one level every month, right? So Gage, if you're a division leader, you're at 10x10, you have 10 people. If you help Gage, if you help half of those 10 people get 3 recruits, that's 21 recruits. And then you help half of those 3 people, sorry, if you have half of those 10 people get 3 recruits, it's 15 recruits. My bad, 15 recruits. That's 15 recruits. That's what you need for regional leader, Gage. Isn't that crazy? You got half of them. You help half of them get 3 recruits. You help half of your people get to district leader or a senior rep, right? You take them, Brian, and you go from your division leader and you help get 3 or 5 of your people to district leader with 3 recruits and then also 3,000 in sales. That's 15,000 in premium. But Brian, if you're doing what you should be doing and working on your skills and getting better and you're recruiting directs and you're helping field train people also, you got another 5,000 out there from your own pen of you doing what you really could honestly get to senior regional leader in 1 or 2 months of a jump. But Brian, it starts by you getting 1 or 2 people promoted. Does it make sense? And it starts here. This is what it usually looks like, right? But we have 2 goals here. We're going to understand why we recruit and understand override, right? So when I'm on this sheet, before I'm talking real big about this, anything like this at all, but Bonita, before I'm talking to them at all about going out and recruiting 1 million people, listen, you got to understand 2 things. Number 1, 3 things. Sorry, 3 things. Number 1, we recruit people. Every business recruits people. Okay, people ask me all the time, is this a pyramid scheme or an MLM or something like that? And the answer is no. But if the answer, or if the question that they're actually asking is, do you recruit people? Then the answer is yes, we're a business, right? Every business recruits people. Every organization recruits people. The military recruits people. Colleges recruit people. Jobs recruit people. Churches recruit people. It is what it is. I talked to our lead pastor today and he's like, hey, can you help me recruit and train people for our production team from the business leaders group that you're running? I was like, shoot, yeah, I could probably figure that out. But guys, like everything recruits. Anything that's vibrant and growing and doing something big is growing or is recruiting. So you just got to get them to help them understand that recruiting is not weird, it's normal. Okay, the second thing is premium. Every time, Jill, you help a family, on average, it's going to be $1,000 in life insurance premium. Now, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but you help one family, that's 1 recruit and $1,000 in premium. That is 1 by 1. Okay, now you need 3x3 without your license to get a promotion, outside of your fast start to get a promotion. So you do that 1 time, 1 recruit, 1,000 in premium. Now you're a senior rep. So the last thing I need you to understand is overrides. Okay, so how overrides work, Brian, is let's say, Brian, that you're the regional vice president, okay? And you brought me into the business. Okay, and Brian, I'm a district leader doing 50%. Okay. I go out and I protect a family. I'm part-time. I still work full-time at the tire shop or whatever, right? But I go out and I protect a family with life insurance. That's $1,000. Brian, I'm going to make $500. Brian, your override or profit margin is 60%. It's the difference between this and this. Does that make sense? So you have a 60% profit. Brian, every business is open to be profitable, yes? And they're going to say yes. So then you say, great. So Brian, we're going to try to help you get as much profit as you can in your business. But Brian, we want your agents to get promoted so they make more money also, because if they're making money, they're going to stay. Does that make sense? And Brian, the number 1 place that people drop the ball here is by not understanding that they need to get their people trained in order to get promoted, and to get promoted to get paid, right? So now, Brian, let's say for a second that I go out and I recruit, let's say Ed, right? I recruit Ed. Ed's a district leader. I got my division leader promotion. Brian, you're still the regional vice president. Ed goes out and helps the family. Ed makes $500, right? Because he's a district leader. Now there's an override and they're going to try to pay every one of these slots. So I'm sitting in this division leader slot. So Brian, I'm going to make $100 override off of Ed. Now I recruited Ed. That's fair, right? I recruited him. I trained him. I'm going to make a little bit of money off whatever Ed does. He's in my business. But now, Brian, you get that 50% gap. Why? Because I haven't made the commitment yet to get to senior regional leader or to get to regional vice president. I haven't done what's required yet. I'm not at the point yet where I deserve that contract because I haven't done what I need to do. Does that make sense? And so, Brian, as we're working on getting promoted, we're building up people underneath our team to help them get promoted. And that is what gets you promoted. Let's say pushing up people business. Okay. Now, you got to help them understand the power of getting to district leader and promoting districts. I just talked about this because if you get them to district leader and then you help them produce a district leader, Ed, watch. One district leader produces one district leader. That's another 3 by 3. You're right there at division leader. And then you go do that again and you're knocking on the door of regional leader. And you do it again and you're knocking on the door of senior regional leader. And guys, when you are one good orientation away from changing your life forever. I know we talk about one recruit away from an explosion. That's true, but you're really one orientation away from an explosion because you got to recruit them and give them a good orientation. Then they explode. Does that make sense? Because they need to understand the business. You got to break it down to them and make it very simple. Okay, I'm trying to get to the next slide, but it's stuck. Hang on. So help them understand the power of getting to district and going to district and overrides, which we just did. And then I always go to this part, right? This part right here, Abby, and I just show them. And you guys will have access to this, guys. Don't worry about where do I find this. Like you'll have access to all of this. I'll post a recording and stuff like that for you guys also. But this, guys, this is so important because when we get here, we're showing them like, look, instead of you having to go 10 by 10 to get to division leader, you got to do 5 by 5. And you make $1,000 doing 5 by 5. You get paid 3 ways, right? You get paid in a monetary amount with your fast start bonus, typically 2 to 5 business days after your license gets appointed into your bank account, or a check gets mailed to the office and then I got to mail it to you. So it pays you, but sometimes that takes a little bit longer if it's that way. So you get paid actual dollars, right? The second thing, you're going to get a promotion, which means all future business, Gage, you're getting paid more on. Right. So now you're a district leader. You're a district leader, a division leader. You're making 2 or 3 times as much as what you would be making if you were licensed or if you were just a rep when you got licensed. Right. And you know what to do. But the other thing we're going to do is get you referrals, right? Or get you people out there that know what you do. So they are looking for referrals for you. Right. Because Gage, yes or no, correct me if I'm wrong. You want people that are looking for business for you. You want people coming to you saying, hey, Gage, I want life insurance. Is that something that you would like to have in your business? Yes. Okay, awesome. So because you want that to happen, because you want people showing up, because you want people showing up on your doorstep, knocking, saying, hey, I need life insurance, right? Hey, I need life insurance. Awesome. Cool. Go get that life insurance, right? But you have to show people what you're doing first, right? And those referrals come from you showing people what you're doing. Okay. And guys, that's that right there. Then I'm telling you, you need to master this. Okay, guys, the video that's almost done is going to do most of the lifting, the heavy lifting for you. Okay, it's going to do most of the heavy lifting for you. You send them the video, you meet back up with them, you just touch all the points that I just talked about. You get commitments on the meetings and you tie them down to doing something big. And then guys, get them on Telegram if they're not already, which you already should have done, but get them on Telegram, book their client experience appointment, make sure they've done their social media post, send them the appointment setting boot camp. That's it. And then schedule a meeting for 2 to 4 days. No, sorry, not 2 to 4, 24 to 48 hours later. My bad. Started to say the wrong thing. 24 to 48 hours later. So if I'm meeting, Gage, if I'm doing meeting number 2 with you, your orientation, if I'm doing that with you on a Tuesday at 3 o'clock, or on a Monday at 3 o'clock, and we got training on Tuesday, I'm just going to tell you, hey, we're going to go to training on Tuesday. I'll see you on that meeting, right? And then Wednesday, what time are you free for us to meet one-on-one and go over the appointment setting script and stuff like that you'll go through? Because it's meeting to meeting to meeting, right? And Like Angie, I love you, Angie. You're my favorite, but you're one of my favorite people. Everybody's my favorite, right? Right, Tammy? You all are my favorites. But Angie asks me all the time, she's like, I feel like I'm just doing too much. I'm like, no, Angie, you're doing enough. You just don't got enough people. Right? You're asking people to show up, but they're not committed. You got one guy, right? Or two guys. Like you need to get 10, 15 people at once, give good orientations, do that in a week or two, and then you'll see they'll start playing off of each other's energy, right? Like it's fun when you see a new person post a recruit in the Zoom chat or in the Telegram, right? Especially when it's somebody on your team. You're like, yes, I got somebody going. They set that up. Gage, they're like, I didn't have to set that one up. Thank God, right? Like it's happening, right? It's amazing. Guys, and eventually you have a leg of business like Josh's leg right now. Freaking senior regional leader in the base shop going 23 by 8,000 right now with a whole week of the month left. Guys, but that doesn't just happen. You got to give a good orientation. You got to get them excited. You got to teach them the business. Like Angie, Angie's at like 7 or 8 by 3 or 4 right now. Same thing. Like that's so encouraging to watch that stuff happen, guys. You see that happen on your team, and it starts to your belief in Primerica. I'm telling you guys right now, like my belief in this working is higher than it's ever been. Why? Because we've broken our all-time cash flow record with over a week and over 2 weeks left of cash flow. Not just personal cash either. Team cash. That's what we're like, Ed, that's what I'm chasing right now. Our team cash. How much are you guys getting paid? Because I know how to get paid. But how can I teach you to get paid? Right? Where can we get better? Right? As a unit. Right, guys? And a lot of that, and this isn't about the orientation necessarily right this second, but a lot of those things are, you should have 5 to stay alive, but you got 1 to stay alive or 2 to stay alive. And you're like, oh, it's not working. Like, damn, I only got 1 appointment this week or 3 appointments this week or 7 appointments this week, or I'm not where I want to be. My cash flow is not where I want to be. I don't have enough recruits. I don't have enough premium because all you're doing is DMs on Facebook and blowing up Facebook groups, and your Facebook profile looks like a spam page, right? Where are you prospecting in person? Right? This is 201. Can I be real with you all for a second? You've been through at least 10 classes at this point, right? You need to, if you want to win, you got to take it to another level in your person.
Yeah.
You got to go find them, right? You got to go meet people. I do not care where they come from. You got to prospect. You got to go do things. Guys, because look, none of you can look me in the face and tell me like, Dan, you don't know how to do this or that or whatever else in Primerica. Why? Because the girl I just direct recruited today was a prospect. Right? I've taken prospects to division leader. Right? I've made 20,000 a month in my own pen. I've done securities trades. I've done everything that you guys need to learn how to do right now. Like I've done, I can help you. And sometimes we just don't like getting pushed on a little bit, saying like, oh, Dan, like I need help with this. Okay, well, I'll tell you, but are you going to do it? Right? That's the question. So I got 5 minutes for questions on the orientation, guys. What questions do you all have? How can I help you? Please don't make me awkwardly sit here for 5 minutes and look at you all without asking any questions. What questions do you guys have about the orientation? Go ahead, Abby.
All right. So I haven't ran my own orientation. So I scheduled the girl, and like I was going to say, y'all listen to Dan about just putting yourself out there, because I was so unsure about that. But this new girl that I just recruited at Olive Garden, because I was eavesdropping on her like conversation and walked up to her.
Do you know where David Harris came from?
Olive Garden.
I come Olive Garden. That's a secret right there, guys. You got to go to Olive Garden.
Olive Garden
right now. That's an SVP. You can make 250 grand a year. Just watch. That'd be crazy.
But yeah, so she's like super excited. She's already on training tonight. I've got orientation scheduled with her, but I've got it really scheduled with you because I'm still doing. So should I run like the first orientation with you and see, because I haven't done it?
Yes, you should get on them. You should, like, when you schedule your people. So until you're, I'm going to say ready, but I'm also going to say comfortable. I'm not going to say comfortable. I'm going to say ready. 2 different things, right? Most of you are ready to do them. You're just not comfortable doing them yet. That's 2 different things again, right? Same thing with recruit appointments and KTs and all that kind of stuff. But like, get on 2 or 3 of them and watch them. Once we have this new video, which should, like, I'm annoyed it's taken this long. It should be done already, but it's not in my hands, it's in their hands. But once it's done, it'll be very, very, very simple. It's going to be just like that Ian's video, and then you just get on and you like edify me real quick, like that's our coach, like super excited we're part of that team, it's amazing, blah blah blah. And then just hit all licensing, meeting attendance, fast start, just tie them down to that, and then just stress the importance of them getting started and doing it fast. But like, I want to give Abby a shout out because Abby's crushing it right now. Like, maybe not huge numbers, but doing everything that we're telling her to do, right? She's checking in with Robin every day, getting help there. But guys, on top of that, she's plugging her people into the system. She's like, I don't know what to do right now necessarily, but she's on the meeting tonight, right? It's guys, that's, I'm telling you, like, you could suck at this business, recruit people and plug them into the system, and you'll make some amount of money, and you might dumb luck your way into some stud. Who knows? You should work on getting better at yourself so you don't dumb luck your way into it, and it's just the probability of it's going to eventually happen because you're good at the business. But if all you do is just throw enough crap into the ceiling fan, it's going to go out there somewhere eventually, right? You're going to get hit. Something's going to stick to the wall eventually. So anyway, Abby, great job. Super proud of you. Keep crushing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Also, go pass your test. What else? What other questions do you guys have? We got 3 minutes. Hugo, come pick me up. We'll go to Olive Garden together. We'll go hang out. Gage, what's up? Glitz, you're next. Gage, what's up?
So, like, my biggest struggle right now is that, like, I'm completely changing lifestyles where I came from, who I communicate with, who I'm around, and I'm going complete cold market when I should be reaching out to warm market, but it's not helping me. It's not healthy to do.
So I'm gonna cut you off real quick for the sake of time, because your problem is you don't have enough, you're like, don't know who to talk to. Is that right? Like, you're kind of like, okay, go look up Ian Pruckner 1,000 persons name list. That's also next week's, or sorry, 2 weeks from now, that's the 201 class, is the 1,000 persons name list. Go look that up. And he talks about the 5 to stay alive in there. If someone reminds me, I'll do 1,000, or I'll do a 5 to stay alive wake up call this week, like what exactly that is. But you need other places to meet new people. That's just a reality, right? Like, if you're trying to change your lifestyle, get away from, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying this about you, but if any of you are trying to change your lifestyle away from drinking, drugs, bad habits, bad people, whatever it might be, and you're trying to change your life because this has inspired you to be a little bit better and bigger of a person, you must have places that you can meet new people, period. Like you should be networking groups every day, business networking events, like go to the gym, take your headphones out, talk to the people near you, like go to places that people are at, and just start talking, just practice talking to people, and you'll start getting names and numbers, and it's going to be real awkward and very uncomfortable, and you're going to suck at it at first. But the good news is it's a skill. It's skill with people. You're not born with that. You develop that. Okay. Some people might naturally be a little bit better at it, but if you're like always angry and everybody thinks you're pissed off 100% of the time, pretend you're happy and smile and just go talk to people and watch how it works. And you start to talk to new people. Glitz, what's up? I got to jump to Glitz real quick. Gage, I'm sorry. Glitz, go ahead.
If you could narrow it down to the one most important thing to do on orientation, what would it be?
Get the tie down to a 90-day commitment to showing up. And by showing up, I mean the meeting attendance and licensing specifically. Like, they got to get a license. Like, I really can't. That's why it's a 3-legged stool and not a pogo stick. You know what I mean? Like, because you got to have all 3 of those things. Like, you got to get trained, you got to get licensed, you got to get on meetings. I would say if I had to label them in importance, it's meetings with like a quick trail of licensing and fast start bonus right after that. But it's different, right? Like, for us, like, we had $5,000 in field training bonuses. Like, so the license was just going to happen, right? Some people suck at the field training side. They just can't get in front of people. Well, shoot, go get your license. And when you do come across somebody, at least you'll get paid for it, right? So you just kind of got all these different It just depends. There's not really one that's most important. I would say if I had to pick one, I would say meeting attendance, because on meeting attendance, we talk about everything else. Right? Because on the meetings, we talk about licenses, we talk about fast starts, we talk about all these other things. I don't know what's happening in the Zoom chat. Y'all are crazy. But I'm gonna end the breakout room real quick. Close all rooms. We got 60 seconds. Any other questions?
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
You're an idiot. Any other real questions?